heard they checking for me, no one checking on me, so I had to go run up a check. I got the message on me, ain't no flexing on me, my attorney gon' call and collect. Blessings on blessings for me, my successes only made them envious, they got upset. I had to put all their egos in check. I want the money, the power, respect, and I heard you know so-and-so, you not a threat, cause I really know so-and-so, they like my family, so they go pretend that they cool till they bust at your motherfucking chest. I'm getting gutter, my flow been like butter, my check in the bank, they see the number. All of my haters feel one of two ways, really upset or they show some respect. I can't even think about it, I've been up, so read about it, no beat around it, straight to it, no ring around it. You coming for me, we'll see about it, we'll never see it when I get my feet up. 100 meters where I run the fee up, and go for king and none amount of pia. I had to re-up on a reel, so you stay the feeder, and put it back into the bit, cause I don't really need it. I heard they checking for me, no one checking on me, so I had to go run up a check. I got the message on me, ain't no flexing on me, my attorney gon' call and collect. Blessings on blessings for me, my successes only made them envious, they got upset. I had to put all their egos in check. I had to put all their egos in check. You're not entitled to anything else. I get 10 years of this under my belt. Your art is an art, they don't feel it, and nobody hears it. Initiative stay on the shelf. Your ego done got in the way. It gotta die today. It gotta go. You should be happy I lighten the load. The weight of your arrogance, heavy as stone. I make an appearance, they already know. That chip on your shoulder gon' crumble and fold, yeah. It's not a secret that you have been fearing the shit that I'm on. So you back to the brag and the boast. But I'm in a class of my own. I heard they checking for me, no one checking on me, so I had to go run up a check.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Drone Brews. It's another beautiful Wednesday night. Hope everybody's doing exceptionally well. I'm going to go ahead and crack open a can of this sweet baby Jesus. I still have some leftover from the last stream. And this beer is so good, you can drink it twice. It's really amazing. So if you haven't already tried Sweet Baby Jesus, highly recommended. Really, it's this peanut butter porter, but it's pretty damn good. All right, we got a great show tonight. We're going to be talking about the new Mavic update, the Mavic 3 update. We'll talk about why I still end up having that drone. We'll also talk a little bit about the Nano. I want to add some, I guess I sort of want to add some context to some things too with that, because I got some more information about some of the performance related issues today. And sort of what Alltel's response to me was on the Nano Plus, I should say. With that being said, tonight's episode is powered by Pilot Institute. If you're interested, check out that link in the description. Go ahead and snag your 107. Well, you can't get it through them, but they can help you get it. So click the link in the description. Just fucking buy all the shit from Pilot Institute. All right, let me go ahead and bring in my esteemed colleague and host, Eduardo Nunez. What's going on, man? You've got the effects button on, Edward.
Oh, I didn't realize.
Yeah, yeah. You do that shit when we have our conference calls. I'm gonna fly to New York and drop kick you.
Oh, I didn't realize. I gotta figure it out.
Yeah, you got to figure it out, because I did that a whole episode for like 30 minutes. I was losing my mind because it was like this crazy. Everybody's like, there's this echo. And what it was reverb was on, because I had the FX button on. I've done that, man. I've done that. I literally had a meltdown in one. I had a meltdown one show. Like, I mean, I'm talking about Ken Herron meltdown, you know, when shit doesn't go his way.
Yeah, because I know you're like really... you're a true perfectionist, especially when it comes to audio. And if you have that reverb, that echo, and
it drives me nuts. It drives me nuts.
I can imagine what you went through.
Dude, it's so this is our first show back.
Well, first, congratulations on your daughter.
Thank you.
How does it feel to be a dad all over again?
You know, it hasn't sunk in yet, because, you know, like for me, I still have to, like, after the baby was born, I have to go back and, you know, it's business as usual for me. I have to, like, you know what I mean? I don't really have like a chance to sit back, and more so now, because when you're self-employed, you can't just stop. You just can't stop what you're doing, because I don't have a fallback. Like I guess I could stop it's not a good idea to stop. So I just keep moving forward.
Right.
But man, I got to tell you, dude, craziest thing. Like I put on the community tab that we welcomed our third daughter into the world in the craziest way possible. And I haven't told the story of why it was so crazy and what happened. So last Thursday, it was last Thursday when we had her. So this is how crazy it was. We weren't expecting her till possibly like Monday, like this Monday that just went by. That's when we were actually really expecting her. And Thursday, I drove my wife to work because I was like, shouldn't be driving. So I drove her to work. We had an amazing day. It was a great day. And my mother-in-law came up and she's like, oh, let's go out to dinner. My wife says, I don't want to go out to dinner. I'm just not feeling good. And she said she had a stomach ache. But like, part of me was like, something's not right because she's acting weird. But she said her stomach hurt. She didn't want to go out to eat. So I said, all right. And she's like, you go with my mom and my brother and everybody and go have it. I literally got done drinking my margarita. I had a margarita. Went to Texas Roadhouse. I had a margarita. And my daughter texted me and she said, hey, Dad, something's wrong with Mom. You need to call me right now. I'm like, okay. So as soon as I called her, I can hear my wife in the background, like in physical pain. I'm like, fuck, it's happening. I turned over to my brother-in-law. I said, you need to drive me to the house right now because I didn't have my car with me. So he drove me. We're just hauling ass. I mean, we're driving as fast as we can. And we're like, 6-7 minutes away. We're driving, running every light. As soon as I walk in the door, I'm like, yep, it's happening. It's happening. I'm like, all right, we got to go. I'm just grabbing everything. I don't even know what bags I'm grabbing. I'm grabbing everything. And I'm getting her into my brother-in-law's truck. And I told him, I said, just drive as fast as you can. Because, I mean, these contractions were like every 2 minutes. I'm like, shit. This is happening. And we're running every light and she's screaming, like literally she's screaming in the backseat like it's happening. We get to the hospital. I grab her a wheelchair. I'm running to the front desk. And the guy at the front desk is like, I need your name, insurance card, social security. And he's asking my wife all these questions. And it's like, right now, it's like swordfish right now.
Yeah.
Because she's answering these questions, but like she's having contractions. I'm like, and I slammed my fist on the counter. I said, can we show some motherfucking sense of urgency and get a doctor down here? This baby's coming right now. It's coming right now. And sure as shit, this lady came out and she's like, hey, I'm with the I'm with the, I don't know if it's the baby division, whatever. She was with the gynecologist that she saw. And she's like, we're going to go into the triage room. So meanwhile, there's like 70 people. There's 70 people to the left of me in the emergency room. They bring us into a triage room. If you've ever been to an emergency room, you know how these triages are, right?
Right.
They're tiny.
Yeah.
And it's filled like there's like 12 nurses. I'm like, why is there so many nurses? My wife's in a wheelchair. The lady reaches down and looks at her hoo-ha and she says, oh shit, we're not going to make it upstairs to have this baby. This baby's happening right now. And she's like, can I get a stretcher? Can I get a stretcher? No stretcher, no stretcher. And she's like, fuck. My wife's like, fuck it. We're doing it right here. She literally had the baby in a wheelchair, dude, in a wheelchair, in a triage room. And she's, everybody can hear because the emergency room is like you can still see the emergency room sort of. So they can sort of see what's happening and they can hear what's happening. And I'm like, I'm used to this shit. I'm used to like, there's a public spectacle. I'm used to it. She's not used to this. So after it's all said and done, we have the baby. The total labor took 6 minutes. It was 6 minutes labor. We walk out of the emergency room and everybody's cheering and clapping. I'm like, this is great. No super chats in the entire ER room, though. No super chats. I should have live streamed it. It took 6 minutes.
Like your baby came in style.
Mm-hmm. It was.
Typical for the Dobo family, right?
Yeah. And then they take you upstairs. And she's like, I need you to sign these consent forms. Do you allow us to have your child? Eddie, why'd you do that, you jackass? They said, why do you want to consent to allow us to deliver your baby? I'm like, but the baby was already delivered. And then I said to him, well, so technically this was an ER visit, right? Like we were here to visit the ER. We're not checked in or anything. We can leave, right? And the nurse is like, are you serious? I'm like, well, we had the baby in a triage room. We didn't need labor and delivery. I said, I'm all about cost savings at this point. So
they're like, no, we need $100,000.
And they're like, no, we need you to sign this.
We're still charging you for everything. It still works, the whole package.
Yeah, I was just like, I was like, damn, that was what a trip. So, but it was awesome. It was awesome. So she's super healthy, big baby. She was 9 pounds, huge, big baby, lots of hair.
I saw that. I saw that.
Yeah,
I
full
am
head of hair.
I am gonna go ahead and just ban Nick
Why is
because
that?
that's just a stupid ass comment, whether it was joking or not.
Oh, go for it. Go for it. Nick, he is not a moderator.
Stupid comment to put.
I don't know. Nick, I could ask the same of your wife, I guess. I don't know. So, anyways, but it was an awesome event. Super cool. And we were only there for 24 hours. So that was awesome. So everything that could have went well, and it went better than expected. I love when stuff like that happens because it's like ripping the Band-Aid off, and it just makes everything so much easier after that point.
Yeah.
Because otherwise I'm like, when is it going to happen? When's it going to happen?
No, I know.
It's nice not knowing.
You were right. You were right in the projected date almost.
I was almost right in the projected
right
date.
there.
Yeah.
Like in the window. Yeah.
So
Now,
it was supposed to be the 22nd, but it was the 20th. So that was sort of close.
Now, how many diapers have you changed?
Honestly, because she's probably watching. I can't even lie because she's watching.
0.
I have changed 0 diapers.
Cheers. Me neither. And my baby turns 4 months Saturday.
And I only say this because I have an incredibly weak stomach for stuff like that. Like you know how like you could wipe your own ass and that's okay, but like, man, I'm telling you, dude, you start dealing with that, and I'm just like, I'm gonna go out of like I get very like queasy.
My little baby boy, and I know this is a drone bruise. We're not gonna talk about babies for the whole hour and a half, but my baby boy, he does some farts that he leaves me out of breath. And then when that diaper opens, sometimes I'm like, oh, I was like, bless you, honey. You're the best. You're the best mama.
She's the best. But you know what? I look at it this way. It's a give and take thing. She's giving a little bit here, but I'm gonna put in the work. Now I get it. My job's fun. I get to talk about drones. I get to drink beer. I mean, but somebody's got to do it. At the end of the day, somebody has to do these things that nobody else is willing to do. Who else is going to break drones, talk about them, film? You know, it's a tough job. It's tough. I'm going to have another sip of this beer. B-Man and 107 Drones, thank you so much for the super chats. I appreciate you. Eddie, you're an asshole for even super chatting that.
Come on, brother.
I appreciate you.
I need to send you a gift.
You are my gift. Just having your beautiful face here is a wonderful gift, bro. I tell you. All right, so let's talk about this. This is the Mavic 3. Eddie, you updated your Mavic 3. I updated my Mavic 3. And most people will be like, Dobo, why do you still have the Mavic 3? I thought you were going to sell the Mavic 3. Well, that is true. I was going to sell the Mavic 3. Now, it's not because of the update. It's because by the time I got done with the video, I listed this on Facebook Marketplace to sell it. I had a baby. I didn't really have time to follow up with anybody. And wouldn't you believe it? I listed it for $2,600 with the RC Pro. With the RC Pro, 3 batteries, $2,600, $2,600, and not a single person. Well, I take it back. People did try to offer, but they were all scammers. It's like anytime you put something on Facebook Marketplace, somehow it goes to Instagram, and then you got to deal with all these Instagram scammers, and then and it's like, no, listen, I'm dealing with local pickup only, cash only, motherfucker, cash only. And I'm like, no, like, come on, you know, unless if it's somebody I know, like the only time I feel good about selling a drone is if it's somebody I know, like from the community. The last like 3 or 4 drones I've sold within the community. So I feel really good about selling like in the community. But a lot of people were commenting like, oh, you shouldn't sell it like this. You blah, blah, it's defective, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, it's not. These are like, there are a lot of people complaining about the slow GPS. There's a lot of people complaining about the disconnect. So I went ahead and updated this. And here's what I found since updating it. I'm not going to make a separate video because there's like everybody like they saw the update and they're like, I got to make a video. And they just fucking use this firmware for like less than 24 hours. So I've been flying this and I don't have disconnects anymore. So that's a good thing. I don't have disconnects, at least the best of my knowledge in flying in an urban environment and, you know, out, you know, around where I normally fly. I don't have disconnects. So that is a good thing that seems to be resolved. The second thing was horizon tilt. I was getting a pretty good amount of horizon tilt initially with this, and in all of the images that I've looked over, and I've been really, really critical, I'm not seeing horizon tilt. So two things have been fixed. Now, the third thing was the slow GPS. Slow GPS, I mean, it would take me, sometimes 5 minutes to get into the air. You think I was fucking doing a final boarding call, weight and balance check to try to get this thing armed to take off. And the slow GPS is still there.
Yeah.
The slow GPS is still there. And I guess I'm at the point where I don't know what to do. Do I send it into DJI and say, hey, I'm having this slow GPS issue. I want to try another unit just to validate whether or not this is actually the unit, or if it's just, that's something I'm going to have to deal with. Like, what do you think?
Yeah, I wouldn't send it in because I think it sounds like now you have a perfect unit. And if you just like read around, right, the community, even here on the live stream, I think everyone is having a slow GPS issue. I did my firmware update, and I wish that I would have recorded my GPS lock before I did the update.
Slow?
Because I swear it was like under a minute and a half tops. And now, I flew it just, when was it? 2 days ago. And it literally took about 2 to 4 minutes, give or take. Even when I'm swapping batteries, right? And I'm in the same location, I still have to wait that 2 to 4 minutes, which was pretty odd. And I promise you, I didn't have that before.
Ron says you're talking about my unit, Eddie. I have a slow unit or a large unit. So I think I'll keep, I think I'm going to hang on to it now because, I mean, one, trying to sell it, like nobody wants to pay like $2,600 when you have to pay cash for something is a lot, right? Like not everybody has $2,600 cash. And I'm so aggravated trying to deal with the scammers. Like trying to weed my way through scammers was just insane. But they hit 2 out of the 3 issues. Like 2 out of the 3 issues are rectified, right? But does it still make it worth it?
I think so.
I mean, for the price, I mean, it's good. It's good, but it's like, I don't know. Maybe I'm just expecting more than a drone could actually deliver it. I don't know. I mean, it's good. The image is good. Like we got D-Log preview now, but it's still not the best preview though.
It's kind of flat, right? I noticed that immediately. I went back into the menu several times. I'm like, is it on or is it off? Is it on or is it off? Because
so I saw that too.
It's flat.
I still think I want to, all right, if they're not going to let us load our own LUTs, I think they should let us have like a slider. DJI, if you're listening, they're probably not because they fucking hate me. But if you are out there or anybody has a lead to a developer, we need a slider to choose the preview LUT intensity, And again, this is me just reaching here, but I think a slider, like, how you have all those dials, those sliders, like, wouldn't it be amazing to choose the intensity of that LUT that you're previewing, or allow us to be able to use any LUT, load it into the application via the SD card that you can, on the smart controller or whatever, the application, and then, be able to run it from there. I mean, I just want to be able to see like what I'm actually shooting though.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I agree. I would love that feature. If they can enable that, for you to upload your own LUT, that's a game changer.
I mean, I guess it stings more for people who bought the Cine version. Like if you bought the Cine Mavic, I think that is the biggest sting because there's not enough of a differentiation. And then I got an interesting email today from I got an email from a viewer, and he said something sort of interesting to me about. He says, this is how the email started. He said, big fan of your channel. I'm a remote sensing manager at a small survey firm. We were hoping to replace our whole fleet of Phantom 4 Pros with the M3 for aerial mapping with photogrammetry. Just got some really disturbing news from DJI Rep. I'd love for you to help me pass this on via social media. So below it says this is from the rep at DJI. It says, "Hi John. Yeah, since the M3 is a consumer product, our new consumer product would very unlikely be supported with an SDK for photogrammetry," which sort of sucks. So, but if you're looking to replace those phantoms, you're not going to be able to as of right now. And this is, yeah, I mean, this is somebody who does this type of stuff for a living, and they're saying no. So I don't know if that has to do with the sensor type, the shutter. It's really tough to say, but that is pretty disturbing, though.
It is.
I mean,
is
so
DJI even selling Phantom Force, or?
I heard they were phasing them out. I thought they were being phased out because I also saw that the Inspire line, Inspire 2 is supposed to be discontinued. Obviously, probably making way for something new, which makes sense. But so Jason Murata says, "Is it too much to ask for a fully baked product from the jump?" You know, here's the thing, and it's not just limited to DJI. It seems like it's all of these manufacturers are releasing a half-baked product right out of the gate, you know, basically jumping on consumers almost immediately, taking their money and fixing the problems later, which for me, it stings. That stings when companies do that. I hate that. And, you know, coming from the automotive world, I used to feel bad when I would fix a customer's car and they would come back to me with an issue. And it's like, shit, there's nothing I can do today for you because now I have to order a part from the dealer or something, and I'd have to send them down the road and their car is sort of still fucked up. There's nothing we can do. It's sort of the same thing. We're paying for something and they're writing an IOU saying, "Hey, we're going to get this fixed, but it's going to come a little bit later." Sometimes it comes, sometimes it doesn't come. I mean, they did a good job with this January update, but the reality is I owe nothing to DJI, nor do any of you. Just because you bought something doesn't mean that you have to be biased towards a company. They don't give a fuck about you. At the end of the day, all they care about is their sales. Regardless, that's all they care about is their sales. They're creating a product. The only thing that you have to do as a consumer is choose whether or not you're going to purchase this or not. I think a lot of people bought the Mavic 3 based upon the experiences we had with the Mavic 2 Pro and the Mavic 2 lineup. It left a good taste in people's mouths. I mean, all in all, for 3 years, they supported it, added new features, and it was a really great performing drone. Yeah, it had some problems, but all in all, it was a pretty good performing drone. And then we get this, and it's at a higher price point. We're in a different temperature in the world today, and it's just, I think a lot of our expectations were higher than we anticipated.
Yeah. And it seems that everything in this hobby is the price increase is just through the roof. I mean, I was looking at Polo Pro that released filters for the Mavic 3. $399. I couldn't believe it for the package, right? For the whole
package. But that's a lot for filters, though. I mean, you know, is it going to make a big difference? I don't know. I mean, I did buy a Polar Pro filter, but I bought one of the FX filters because I don't care about any of the other filters. I mean, I thought the filters that DJI included with the Mavic 3 was fine. You know, I think those filters are perfect for what we're doing. And, you know, reality is because we can stop down on the aperture, I mean, I think what they sold with the drone is plenty. But I mean, I do like that they have some new effects filters. So I'm interested to see how those are. But I still agree. I think that the price point is higher. But I mean, everything is just through the roof. Cost of materials, shipping, marketing aspect, everything is more expensive. Everything is just more expensive, which really sucks. But, you know, like just talking about things that, you know, all right. So Eddie, you got a chance to fly this. You're doing a whole separate video on this. We don't want to spoil your video with this, but what's your thoughts on the Mavic 3 since the firmware update?
There's some key things that I like. So the horizon tilt being resolved, it seems like it was resolved. That was pretty good, but it's something that, you know, should have came out the box. But it was a nice fix. For me, I have the Cine version. The USB mode is a game changer. The fact that you can plug in through Thunderbolt and I can just access the SSD and not have, and not have the drone fully on. I love the drone. I think that the drone flies like a new car. I think the Mavic 2 Pro, which was my daily driver before, it was showing signs of age. Using the old smart controller. The new smart controller is lovely. The transmission, just the connectivity, the breeze going through the menus. It's good, and I think that DJI is going to possibly continue to improve on everything. I mean, look at the Fly app, right? I was totally against the Fly app. You remember, right?
Yeah.
I said I'm not getting the Mavic 3 because of the Fly app, and I just embraced the Fly app. The Fly app is actually a simplistic new 2022 app. I mean, the Go 4 is something that's outdated, and we hear all this. Oh, if you're a professional, you want to access your stuff pretty quickly. But look what they did. Now you tap on this little menu here, and you have all your customizations, your shutter, your ISO, all in one screen. So I think it will only continue to get better.
Yeah.
I think technology, that's the route that we're going. We're going to buy a product and we're going to get the features later. We're seeing this in everything we buy.
It is, and it seems like it's the common trend, and it's I guess it's whether or not you want to be patient. I guess I'm somebody who's less impatient, because as you start using something professionally, I need it to work now. I can't buy something and say to my customer, hey, if you give me 2 months, this will do exactly what I need it to do. But until then, it's not going to be able to do it all. I mean, we're there now with it. I got a chance to use it for a couple of shoots, and it did great. Like, it did really well. I'm just happy that it's not disconnecting. I'm not thrilled about the GPS. Now, there's some ways to circumvent that. Obviously, like somebody said, hey, I think it was Lon told me, why don't you just turn it on in your car before you start shooting? Yeah, I guess I could do that, but the problem is when I get to the house, I do my aerials last. So I guess I can change that up and do the drone photos first. So that way, as I'm pulling up, GPS is sort of locking its satellites. But what kills me is as I'm rising the drone, like, it'll show me that I have 11 satellites, and I'll start going up, and then it'll be like, whoop, nope, just joking, you got 10 satellites. And it's in those moments is where you can have something that could happen, like a flyaway. So it's like, I don't know if at this point, if I should wait until I absolutely have like 12 or 13 satellites before I take off. I don't know what the right answer is. I will just say that they did a good job with the features that they provided us. It's cool that they provided all the quick modes. I don't use quick modes ever. I never use quick modes. So like, if a drone has it or not, I don't care. I know a lot of people rely on the asteroids and all these quick features and fun video modes, but I don't use those. I mean, that's just because I rather shoot my shots manually, but that's just me. So I don't care about that. I mean, yes, it's cool. Active track is cool, but again, I just still don't trust DJI's active track. I know it's better, but it's not Skydio good, right? It's not Skydio good. If I'm going to do tracking, I'm going to use Skydio if I'm going to do any sort of tracking. But I mean, it's cool to see that they are making improvements. I just wish that it wouldn't have taken till February, because they released this drone before Christmas. And now here we are, finally getting the features that we should have had when it did release. I mean, I don't know. I guess it is what it is. I mean, we'll have to see what continued improvements that they do make to that. I don't know. I felt like they took too long to do the fixes. And the other thing too is, if they're going to put out updates, they tell us about all these wonderful fixes, but they tell us about all these new features, but they don't outline the fixes. Like, if you look through it, there's no change log for the fixes. So tell me in detail what you changed or what bug fixes you squashed. That would give an end user some warm and fuzzies. So I'm not sitting there just flying this shit aimlessly, trying to figure it out,
Yeah, I could agree with that for sure.
I mean, I'll tell you what, dude, the Air 2S, I can wrap that son of a bitch in aluminum foil. I can wrap the Air 2S in aluminum foil. I kid you not. And it's going to connect to satellites. It's incredible how well that thing locks. And even, I'll tell you what, the Autel drones connects to satellites quicker than shit. I mean, that's one thing about Autel they've always had down pat, is their satellite capability. Like it just always locks satellites fast. I've never once had a situation, knock on wood, never once had a situation where I've had an Autel drone attempt to fly away over satellite not being accurate. But with that said, this thing.
I was just gonna ask you about that. So I saw your video.
This thing has been I mean, it's a humdinger. It's a humdinger.
Some are even doing split S's with that drone.
Yeah. Yeah, I bet. I was when they announced the Nano and talked about everything that it had in there, I was thinking this is going to be the cat's pajamas. This is going to be everything. Like this is the 249 gram holy savior to those that don't want the mini drone. Like this is going to be it. They said it would be here in a nanosecond. And what I now know is the name of this, it's not pronounced Nano. It's not pronounced Nano. Eddie, do you know how this is pronounced?
No.
When somebody asks you if you want the Nano, it's not pronounced Nano. It's like this. It's like, nah, no. That's how you pronounce this drone. It's the nah, no.
Oh my God. You got to trademark that. That's a great slogan.
That's how you pronounce it. That's people mistaking this. They thought it was a small drone, but it's nah, no, you don't want this right now. You're gonna wait. You need to wait.
Where do you come up with this stuff?
I don't know, bro. I spend too much time on the toilet, bro. I swear.
Oh my God.
But it had a lot of promise. I think it's just they tried doing too much, right? Like when you think about a drone and you think about the fundamentals of a drone, it's like they tried cramming all the magic of their bigger Evos into this smaller drone. But that's not why people buy these. They don't buy these to have the magic of the larger drones. They buy this to have the magic of a small drone that they can take and fly anywhere. And I think that much like how people stopped believing in Santa Claus, like Autel lost their way. They stopped believing in why you create a small drone. A small drone's not meant to have all the tech of the bigger siblings. We're not there yet technology-wise. And I think that if they would have just focused on the things that make a small drone a good drone, this would be a better drone. Like we don't need obstacle avoidance. If you hit something with this, too bad, buy another one. You shouldn't have fucked up. Mm-hmm. But they put obstacle avoidance in there and they have to have this fan and they're trying to do this and that. I mean, it's just, you're doing too much, bro. You're doing too much. Now, with that said, though, I'll talk about this, Eddie, because I told you I bought two of these. I bought two. I got two I have two light pluses. And the light plus is probably my favorite. I like the orange. I didn't think I was going to like the orange light plus, but I really like the light plus orange. But I feel like the light plus is my favorite drone right now. Like it's the most consistent. Wow. It's the most consistent performing drone. And it's like, the problem is it's like, these are like polar opposites. It's like this drone gets it. It's like matured. And this mother effer's got middle child syndrome. Like this one's the one that's going to go to school and they're going to sneak like porno mags in its backpack. And this one's going to go to school and get good grades and it's going to do everything it's supposed to do. But this one's going to have Saturday detention. Like that's what this drone is doing. So it's total polar opposites in that, because people say, well, how is it possible that two drones from a company can perform so differently? And I shit you not, the light is performing exceptionally well. Like I don't have anything to complain about that drone. I think it does amazing. Like, yes, they could add some more features to it and get that phase 2 update out faster, get us that log profile or flat profile or whatever it is you're going to do. But some of my biggest gripes that I didn't get a chance to mention with this was I went to go load files from this into Premiere Pro. And it said files are not supported by Premiere Pro. I'm like, what the hell? So I brought it over to my Mac, loaded up the files, same thing, not supported by Premiere Pro. And apparently it has something to do with the compression that they use on MOV files. Shooting in MP4 is fine. So I switch it over to MP4. That seemed to be fine with Premiere Pro. But MOV files, it's a no-go. It's a no-go in Premiere Pro, which is a bit of a bummer. The other thing, too, that I noticed about this is that the gimbal sits so, like when you're trying to calibrate this gimbal, I'm just going to show you this here. I can't really show it, but when you go to calibrate the gimbal, it's like they should have made these legs a little bit longer, because I find a lot of times the lens and the camera, when it goes to do its calibrations, it hits the ground, or if there's like a pebble or a rock, like it hits the ground. I don't know.
Yeah.
It should have been taller.
I've heard that from many.
So that's one of the most annoying things, is that you have to be on a perfectly flat surface for it to calibrate. So, I mean, I don't know. It just drives me nuts. Drives me nuts that it does that. So I hope they fix some things with this. I mean, they did reach out to me. They wanted log files from this. So I'm going to send them log files here. Matter of fact, I just flew it after updating to the 1.08 update. So supposedly it creates a log file, but I don't see any log file on this card. I could be wrong, but I'm looking and I'm not seeing any log files here. Maybe it's a hitting item. I don't know. I'm not seeing log files on this. They told me how to do it, but I don't know. Not seeing files. Let me see. View, content details. No, I don't see it. I don't know. I may just send this one into them and see what they say. I'll send the drone to them. I don't care. I'll just send the drone to them and let them take a look at it. But I don't know.
I would love to see DJI produce a Mavic 3. Now, what if this Nano
they already made a Mavic 3, Eddie.
I'm sorry, Mini.
Mini 3.
This bodega beer is getting to me already. But if the Nano was $499 and the Mavic Mini 2 is also $499, then what would be your thoughts there? Which one would you buy?
I still would choose the Mini 2. And I'll tell you why, because consistently it performs the most consistent, right? Like when you think about something, you take it out of the box and are you going to have problems? Is it going to work? The Mini 2, what it has going for it is the OcuSync 2, obviously, which works flawlessly. The battery life, you know what to expect every single time. Camera-wise, it's not terrible. It's not great, but it's not terrible. But it just performs. Like you have the least amount of issues. You know what you can get away with this drone. My biggest downside with the Nano is it's a first gen product and it's a little bit unpredictable. It's different for this than it is like the Lite. The Lite is a smaller evolution of, let's say, the Evo 2 Pro,
Right.
which I thought the Evo 2 Pro was great, but I felt like the Lite series just sort of refined the characteristics of the Evo 2 Pro, but without becoming something new, something entirely different. This is entirely different that they've never made before, and I think that's why we're seeing some of these growing pains. With that being said, if they can get the firmware corrected, that'd be amazing. Something that happened tonight. So the 1.08 firmware went to go update and it said it failed and this thing just disconnected. So I was like, all right, let me reboot the drone and connect. And then when I connected it, it ended up being that it actually finished the update. But these updates take like 25 minutes a piece, which I mean,
you're done with the battery by the time it updates.
Yeah. Yeah,
and you can't bypass it, right? You have to update.
No, you gotta update it when it wants you to update it. You gotta update it, which sort of sucks. So
it does. Imagine being out in the field, and then you turn on your drone and you see an update.
I really wish they would get that situated, because it's just like I sat here today, like before the stream started, I was updating it, and then I took it out and did a test flight with it, and I mean, it was okay. Now, I mean, it just took some time, but the problem is I still think that this is a little too late. Like I think that Mini 3 is going to end up launching very soon. We're already seeing some indicators that it's going to be soon. And you know what? DJI doesn't have to do much to make that drone great, right? But I just wish that Autel would have just had this ready to go, because like you announce it in September and it's nowhere near ready. And now what's the biggest problem with the Nano and the Lite now? It's that it's not in a shit ton of people's hands, like, right? Like there's very few distributors that have it. You can't walk into Best Buy and buy it. You can't buy it on Amazon and buy it. We didn't even have it. We're just now getting our stock for the Lite and the Nanos now. Like we're just now getting stock. Like that's embarrassing. And then to top it all off, you have a distributor out of China named Autel Pilots that they're able to ship it, but none of your US distributors are able to get their hands on that. So one, if something goes wrong, like the US distributors take care of their own, obviously, first, but Autel Pilots isn't going to take it. They're going to tell you to pound salt, call Autel. They're not going to give a shit because they don't give a shit.
Right.
I mean, that just I thought was really wrong. And the fact that Autel, I really don't think Autel cares that this was such a discombobulated release. I don't think they care. And and it's like sometimes I wonder, I really do wonder, like, what is their purpose? Are they here to sell drones, or are they trying to just launder money? I mean, you know, I hate to say that, but that's sort of like the feel I get from the company is like they just don't have any sense of urgency to get things done correctly. Now, there's a lot of people that work at Autel that I really do think care about their job, but I also feel at the same point that their hands are absolutely tied with what they are capable of doing. Like there are great people that work there. So I'm not saying anything against those people, but I'm just saying I feel like the senior leadership needs to take their head out of their ass and get shit fixed right. Like they need to get shit fixed right, and they need to do it as soon as possible, because you're going to get lapped by another company. And I'm telling you, technology is moving so swiftly that there will be another company that will pop up, do it better. They're going to have their distribution in order. They're going to have their marketing in order. They're going to have their pricing and availability in order. And it may not be DJI. And Skydio is obviously not far from that now. They're already there. So they need to take their head out of their ass, or they're going to be like Unique, a thing of the past. So, I mean, that's just sort of, that's sort of where I'm at with that.
Well, it'll be interesting to just see the journey and see how they progress. I think all drones now, we have to just give them like 6 months. Unfortunately, you have to give them a few months. I mean,
yeah, but the problem is like people are impatient. Like pilots are impatient,
right?
We're like the weirdest genre of hobbies, right? Like drones in general are the weirdest. Like we have the weirdest consumer base, right? Because we're the most impatient people on this planet. And if we don't have something first, it's like we're throwing a tantrum if we don't have something first. I'm learning that I don't give a shit when I get it. I just want it right when it gets to my hand. I don't have to have something first. I just want it to be right. Like I don't want to deal with all the bullshit and the problems. Like I had the Nano in my hand for over 3 weeks, and I wouldn't review it because I kept updating the firmware, and I would test it and fly it and test it. And I wanted to make sure that it was right. And the more and more I flew it, I was like, I can't recommend this shit. But like the Lite, I had that, I flew this thing for about 2 weeks before I did my videos on it. And I was just like, I'm blown away with the performance. And it's just crazy how night and day it is. Same company, 2 different drones, and one could be so strikingly different. It just never surprises, never ceases to amaze me. So never ceases to amaze me.
That's interesting.
It is interesting. So I'll tell you what has made it better. That slick stick mount, baby. Can't really see it, but man, oh man, I'm telling you,
that's a sexy mount.
That is a sexy ass mount though, and it works very, very, very good. So rumor has it there's going to be some custom ones going out to some people very soon.
Oh wow.
We're making some custom designs for some people that have this in hand. So look out for those. Those will be very interesting. But yeah, I love it, dude. Now that I can take my sticks off and not lose them, it's like I'm like, all right, cool. I can throw it in my bag and not care about breaking it, and that makes me very happy. That makes me very happy.
It's a really good design, and you've been pumping those out.
Yeah. So right now I'm at a standstill. I'm going to be shipping a shit ton of them probably tomorrow night. People are going to be getting shipping notifications. One of the things that have held me up was we wanted to make sure we had tools. Like I could ship these out now. Like I have them ready to go, but I don't have the Allen key. I'm waiting on more Allen keys. So like I could, if somebody has tools, I could ship it out, and then, if they're okay with that, great. But I wanted to make sure that going forward, everybody had tools to be able to install it right away, because I don't want somebody to buy it and then sit and say, well, man, I got to go buy a tool now to install this. No, I want them to be able to take it out of the bag and be able to install it and use it like within minutes. Like, so that was one of the things that I wanted to do with that. That was like one of the things that I had in my mind when I designed that, was I have to have tools. So hopefully tomorrow we'll have more of them shipped out. Pretty stoked. Matt Bagwell asks, what happened to the Max interview? Guess as good as mine. We've asked twice, and twice we've been sort of ghosted. So I'm not really sure what's going on. I mean, maybe he's afraid of the questions we would ask. I mean, I'm not going to beat around the bush. I mean, I actually fly these things. Like I watched when he was on Ken Heron's show, and to be quite honest, nothing against Ken, but he doesn't know fucking dick about Autel, period. Like he doesn't know anything about the lineage. He doesn't know anything about the shipping, receiving. He doesn't know anything about the history, the trials, tribulations. The guys that have had the X-Star, like I started with the X-Star, not even the X-Star Premium. I'm talking about the X-Star Wi-Fi is what I started on. And then I bought the X-Star Premium. I mean, back when the pumpkin days, like those were like Andrew and Tim working at Autel. Like that's like, that interview was missing so much information that I feel like people who fly Autel really need to hear and know. So I'm hoping to have him on. If not Max, we'll have somebody from Autel eventually. Maybe they'll want to come on. I don't know. We'll see. What printers do you use for your print farm? I use Prusa printers. Yeah, Prusa. I have a mix. I actually have a mixture of Ender and Prusa, but primarily Prusa is what's doing the work for our slick sticks. We do come up with some pretty I except for ducks. We don't do ducks. No B-man ducks. No ducks. No ducks for you, B-man.
It's still in order, B-man.
I know. It's on order. It's back order.
Yeah. Kevin Wells had a question for you on the super chat.
And to the point, Galaxy S10 went out, getting ready to get a new computer, drone stuff. Which iPhone would you go with? And which M1 based computer if you want fast video processing? I would say, just the iPhone 13 works fine. Like, I don't think you need an iPhone Pro. I don't think you need iPhone Pro. iPhone 12 works, or iPhone 13 works perfect. As far as M1, I really like, if you don't need a laptop, the M1 Mac Minis are perfect. I would probably wait and see if they come out with an M1 Mac Mini Pro, though. Like a Mac Mini Pro is inevitable. I would probably hold out for that. But the Mac Mini or the iMac Pro or the Mac Pro M1, the M1 Pros were probably some of the best like that I've used. I mean, they had some issues, they fixed it, but 14-inch seems to be a good sweet spot, though. How does the Autel Lite stack up against the Air 2S? I think the Lite actually inches the S out just slightly, but then if you use D-Log, you're going to get like way more color information. It depends. I mean, they're so close, it's really hard to say which one edges each other out. It's like Ford or Chevy. It's like, pick your brand. Which brand do you like more? Do you like Ford better or do you like Chevy better? That's how I compare that to. Javier says he was finally able to get a 3080 Ti. Well, I think with crypto sort of hitting that bear market, I think we're now finally seeing like prices stabilize a little bit when it comes to graphics cards, which is great because it's like for the longest time, stupid expensive. Just
They have
kidding.
some new ones coming out too.
They
30.
do. They do. They do. They got the 3090s and just all sorts of stuff. Restock on the smart controller. You know, I'm not sure when the smart controllers are going to be restocked. I don't think they sold as well as they thought they were going to sell. I think they sold well because there's such a limited supply of them that's why it looks like the Autel smart controller sold well. It's just more or less because they're so limited. I would not recommend anybody buy a smart controller like the Autel smart controller as of right now. One, it's super clunky. I think the smart controller from Autel is crazy clunky. And two, if you have any indication that you want to upgrade to like a light, the light currently right now, as of today, does not work with the smart controller. So that's a bit of a bummer. That is a bit of a bummer.
And they did mention that they are producing a new smart controller for the new series.
I did hear them say that. So, I mean, that's going to be interesting to see what that actually entails or what that actually looks like. So,
yeah.
I don't know. I would stay away from the smart controller. It's an expensive proposition for what it is, and it's just super clunky.
Is that an X Dynamics hat that you're wearing? I just noticed that.
Yeah, I'm wearing an X Dynamics hat.
Are you sending us a message here?
No, I'm not sending any message. No, nothing subliminally. Right, Benny?
No.
No, I mean, I wear all sorts. This is a vintage hat. This is the X Dynamics hat is vintage. Does Autel do any kind of flat profile? Not on the Lite or the Nano, but the Evo 2 lineup, they do a flat profile. Have you flown the updated Skydio yet? I have flown the updated Skydio, and I got to say, holy shit, I'm impressed. I'm impressed. You know, the Skydio 2 is one of those drones, you can put it away and bring it out in 6 months, and it's brand effing new again. Like it never ceases to amaze me how good the obstacle avoidance is and just everything that this drone is capable of doing. The Skydio 2 just absolutely blows my mind still. Like, it's not a drone that you're going to be able to do things on your own with, but for tracking purposes, holy shit, it's good. It just, I know I've said this before, but damn, it's fun. Like, I was on the one wheel yesterday. I'm going through these woods. I'm filming for a video. And I mean, we're in low-lying areas and there's nobody around. And I'm just ripping through these trails. And it's just, dude, it's just hanging in there. It's just hanging in there. It was amazing.
I've
So
always
it's very
wanted
impressive.
a Skydio, but I don't have a use for it. I feel like you need to be into you have to live in the right environment, and you also need to be into action type shots, right? Like I
Well,
compare the
yeah.
Skydio into to a GoPro essentially.
Yeah, I mean, it does have some specific use cases. I mean, but it's just that wow factor of flying it and just it does like they've gotten the software so good and so perfected that I mean, it's just damn good. It's just damn good. Like I don't have any complaints with it whatsoever. And the way it tracks the beacon is just really amazing. I'm interested. I'm gonna be working more with keyframe, trying that out, but
That's pretty
yeah.
cool, the keyframing.
It's pretty good. Hey, Jason Morris in the house. I like Jason's channel. He's been on an A7 IV kick lately. I had to stop watching him because he's trying to make me switch to Sony.
It's a great camera.
He's trying to make me switch. I can't do it. Skydio 2 is worth it, even if you only use it occasionally. It is. It's like that tool that keeps on giving. I mean, I didn't like when I sold my Skydio, I was like, I have no need for this. But since I started one wheeling and just like sort of like, wanting to do some shots, like I would watch Sean Oz's channel and I would get sort of jealous, like when he has these shots and I know it's the Skydio doing it. I'm like, damn, why did I sell it? So now that I have another one in hand, I'm just like, I'm going to start using it and putting it to its full potential.
Yeah.
And still, I think there's a lot that they can do better with it, but I think it's pretty good right now. We haven't checked in on Paul's channel. I'm trying not to bother them this week.
Did you get? I think we should.
Do you want to bother Paul?
I think it's a tradition now. I think it's a Drone Brews tradition.
We'll see.
But
We'll see. Let's ask the audience.
We're only helping him out with his watch hours, his viewership, right? We're increasing his numbers. I mean, let's take a look.
Let's see what the audience says, Eddie.
Where let's see how many viewers he has. Let's put up the stats.
I started a poll and it says bother Paul or no. We're not going to bother him yet. We're not going to bother him yet. We are starting a poll. It's up there right now. 75% say we should bother him. 25% say no. That's out of 8 votes. That's 8 votes. That's 20. 82% say we should bother him. I am now adding. What's that?
Did he message you at all last week? Pissed off or anything or no?
No. You know, here's the thing. Paul is never mad. Like, Paul doesn't get mad. And Paul's such a lighthearted individual that it's hard for him. Did he block me?
Well, there's your answer. I think the person that we do piss off is Kyle. Kyle Watts for sure.
You know what it is? And I'll tell you why I think it makes him angry. I think the reason why we piss Kyle off is because they simultaneously stream on both channels, and his fear is that people will not understand what is happening.
Right.
When you know what I'm saying? That's his fear. That's his fear, is that people won't understand what's happening. You know, so to that, I feel for Kyle, right? I feel like I don't want to bother Paul necessarily like that. I feel like it's bad, but in the same token, I also don't give a shit. So
you know what? You're right, because Kyle Watts is not doing the dual stream today. It's only Paul.
Oh, so he must have learned. He must have learned.
Am I right or wrong on that? Let me take a look.
No, take a look.
It's only Paul.
So I think he's afraid that possibly we may raid his stream again. Because if we keep raiding his stream and nobody knows what's happening, it's going to throw people off. Now, Paul's white balance is looking exceptionally well tonight. I got to give it to Paul. He's really cleaning up his look here. It's growing on him. Kyle's look's always been good. His white balance has always been all right.
Yeah.
So let's just start off with a simple hiya, fellas. I can't hear him. Let me see if I can hear him. Can you hear him?
I have the phone. I have it muted.
Oh, you're okay. You got the phone.
Yeah. I mean, I can put the phone here.
Right now, Kyle's thinking to himself like, shit, here we go. Here we go. Look at him. Look at him. Look at him.
Yeah.
So what you do is when you go in there, you just say, hiya, guys. You start with a hi. You just warm it up easy. We'll warm it up easy.
Oh man, he put his hand to his face. Yep.
He knows.
Yeah.
He knows what's going on. He knows. I think Mike, Unbox Warehouse at this point, Unbox Warehouse knows what's going on. He knows what's going on. Oh, he's mad because I didn't return his call. I didn't even see him call me. When did he call me?
I don't know. Is that what he said? I'm not hearing.
Yeah, he did. I don't even have a fucking wrench, Paul. Oh, that was salty, Eddie. That was salt. Did you hear that salt he just threw?
No, I wasn't listening. What did he say?
He's tossing some shade, Eddie. He's tossing some shade there, Eddie.
I didn't hear what he was saying.
I don't know, Eddie. He's tossing some shade, Ed. Wow. You know what it is, though? 3 weeks in a row of tormenting them. I think it's starting to catch up. They're starting to get angry with it. I'll get another call. Like, I got a call on Thursday morning from Paul. It's like, hey, man. He goes, I'm not really eating the microphone anymore. I said, oh, okay. I said, okay. But then he texted me a photo today of him eating the microphone.
Crazy.
I got a photo of it though. It's pretty cool, Eddie. You want to see the photo of Paul eating the microphone?
Let's demonstrate this to the chat. Look at that.
That was Paul texted me that. He said he was eating the microphone.
He loves that.
Paul's a great guy. He's a good guy. Go show Paul some love. Go show Paul some love. He's a good guy. He's a phenomenal guy. Phenomenal guy. All right. Well, I think that's about it. 10 o'clock. I should probably get home. I'll update everybody as to what I find out. I'm going to fly the Mavic 3 quite a bit this week. I'm going to fly it extensively. Really sort of put it through its Dobo paces. I mean, I don't know. I mean, is it even worth selling, Eddie, at this point? I don't think I'm going to be able to. I'm going to lose probably about $600 at this point.
Yeah, not I wouldn't sell it. You'll end up getting it again if I know you.
Yeah, well,
buy
that's what I do. I typically I'll sell something because it pisses me off, and then when they fix it, I buy it again, and then I end up losing money again. So I probably should hang on to it.
By the way, did you see that eBay listing that I sent you? So someone in Tampa. Oh, check this out. Someone in Tampa crashed their Mavic 3 Cine in Tampa, Florida. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So someone found it. And they listed it on eBay and gave full disclosure that they found this crashed Mavic 3 Cine, and it has some damage to it, has some physical damage, but he was able to verify with the serial number that it has DJI refresh. So for $600, it'll get replaced essentially, right? Take a wild guess how much he's selling it for.
$100?
No.
$2,000.
Buy it now, $3,000.
So you're gonna pay $3,600
for a crashed Mavic 3.
Wow.
With no accessories.
Wow.
And it's funny because the listing says I'll also will include the ND, the 512 ND.
Wow, what a scumbag.
Yeah.
I wonder who crashed that. Because in Tampa, there's like limited pilots. Like we don't have like a lot of pilots. Like, I'll put it this way, like if somebody's flying like for GPS drones, I typically, like, they know who I am, I know who they are. Like, we all know one another and we all work together a lot of times. So it's weird, unless if it crashed in an area where they should not have been. Like, downtown is a good place where if you crash, like, you may just want to leave your shit and go type of thing. That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
$3,600. That's a gut. That's a gut check, man. That's a gut check.
Doesn't even make sense.
No, that makes zero sense, man. I mean, that makes 0 sense. Yeah, that's a lot of money, dude. I can't do it. I want to do a video though on binding these drones. These drones are such a bitch to bind. Like, if you got to switch back and forth between RCs, what a pain in the ass. I learned the hard way today. But I'm going to do a video. I think I'll do a video on that. We'll see. I'm going to try. I'm just going to try to fly these. I'm going to see how this new update does. Autel is supposed to be sending me out a replacement unit. They think that this unit is defective. Hard to really say that because a lot of people have, sort of, backed my thoughts on this and backed the same experience. So I don't know. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, we'll just go from there next week and see what happens. But for now, I'll try to keep flying the Mavic 3 and see what happens. I know people are like, "Oh, you're going to sell it or not?" Well, shit happened last week. So last week, the Mavic 3, if the Mavic 3 was on the list to be executed, it got bought more days because of life events. Life events were more important than me selling a drone. And then it just so happened that an update became available for this that fixed 2 out of the 3 issues. So, Mike Benson just texted me. What did he text me? Something about 1X, blah, blah, blah. Wow. Oh, I see what happened. He was working with Insta1 and they were giving him a list of rules that he had to follow. I'm gonna have to call him on that. I'd love to hear a story on that. All right, we'll catch up in the chat here. We'll just do the chat. Just take a look. We'll catch up in the chat here and see if there's any questions out there. All right. Anybody got any questions before we close this shit out? We're gonna close this shit out, and then we'll be back again next week. Maybe next week we'll have a guest. I don't know. We'll see what happens. See how many people we piss off. Seems to be a running thing on Wednesdays, man.
I know you've been good. You've been really good.
We've been good. Today's been a good day. I think we had some great chat. We had really good chat today.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah. I just want to make sure that if I'm reviewing something, it's like whatever we're saying is factual. I mean, these are flying machines. It's hard to really know one way or the other.
And no longer cheap too. So you want to get the factual data out there.
Yeah,
honest review.
And that's the thing is like you got to look at the price to value ratio and all this stuff, and it's just like it's getting harder to recommend things. And maybe I'm becoming more critical as prices go up, but it's hard not to though. It's really hard not to. Like I'm in a spot right now where I'm like I don't want to buy any more gear unless if that gear is going to be life-changing, unless if it's going to alter the course of how I conduct my day-to-day, I will not buy gear. Now, you said, Eddie, that I'm going to be switching to Canon or
Sony.
Or Sony. I would switch to Canon before I switch to Sony. But I'm holding out because I'm a Lumix fanboy. I'm a Panasonic fanboy. I really am. I love Panasonic. Touches me the right way.
That's how I feel about Canon. I have Sony cameras and I always revert back to Canon.
You know, and Canon's good, but I love Panasonic. There's something about Panasonic color and just the way their cameras work. It just makes me. Let's see. Shutter Speed says we people here in the UK getting bad press in the media at the moment. A prune flew a Mavic Mini 2 into a football stadium, stopped play for 20 minutes. They had to get a police chopper up to follow it. Oh shit.
I would be shitting on myself if a police chopper is following my drone.
What a deal, man. What a deal.
Yeah. In fact, that's when I take my remote and I just throw it, hop in my car.
That's when you just fucking go sticks in, let it drop.
Yeah.
Walk away. True. There's no following. You just let it drop. Yeah, and we haven't heard anything else about that Bengals idiot. No. And did you see that video I sent you from that guy that flew the Skydio2 in Mexico?
Yeah.
So he's from the US and he was flying in a national park with his Skydio2 and people reported him and he got pulled over by a federal agent. Did you see that? What an idiot. What a fucking idiot.
He's going to get in some shit now.
Like he's an arrogant little asshole. Maybe that's why he's in Mexico now. What a jackass. Would I recommend the Altel Light Plus? Yeah, I like the Altel Light Plus. I think it's a phenomenal drone. That's right now, like I said, that's my favorite drone at the moment. And I say at the moment because flipping drone to drone, each drone does something different. So as of right now, I like it a lot. All right, Eddie.
All righty, sir.
I think we'll call it a night. And Eddie, you remember tonight our episode was powered by Pilot Institute. You're looking to get your 107, you want to learn, you got to start somewhere. Highly recommend you check out the link in the description below for Pilot Institute, teaching you to not necessarily fly farther, but fly smarter. My Pilot Institute ad plug. All right, that's going to do it, guys. What was this?
Oh.
Matthew Pari says, unsubscribe. Peace. You suck. Matthew Pari, go fuck yourself. If you're still here, Matt, let me just reframe this. Go fuck yourself. Let me say it again in the people in the back that if you didn't hear. Matt, if you're still here and you think I suck, go fuck yourself. And if you want to say it 10 times fast, it could rhyme. Okay? Bitch. I saw that. I caught that out of the corner of my eye. He was over there.
Yeah, I was even scrolling up to see if we missed something.
Yeah, I was wondering like what was it that was said?
A few minutes earlier, he said your Mavic 3 bash video has some valid points. can you do an updated video on the Mavic 3 soon? And then he goes to this message now that says you suck.
Oh, because I didn't see his message. Well, when the chat's moving quick, I don't see shit. So what a fucking douchebag.
We have the best crowds.
I
the whole drone community.
I always circle back, and it wasn't a bash video. I'm talking about my fucking problems. Like, that's the problem. People say, "Oh, he's saying something bad about this drone. He must be bashing it, sir." Like Scoob. No, that's not a bash video. That's me talking about problems. That's like me going to the doctor and saying, "Hey, doc, I have this one ball that hangs lower than my left ball. I've got a problem." That's not me bashing my balls. That's me telling the doctor I have a problem. I'm basically talking about a problem, not bashing. Take your head out of your ass, people. I mean, Jesus Christ. I mean, like, when you have problems, it's good to talk about them. That's why people in this country are so angry half the time. They don't talk about their problems. Like, there needs to be a drone therapist show. Oh, wait, there is. There actually is. But there's another one that really triggered me last week. This motherfucker, the guy that runs drone therapy, he's like, yeah, so he has some problems with some vehicles. He started a whole bunch of shit in this group and then got called out on it because he didn't think I was going to see it because I wasn't in the group. I rejoined that group so quick because if I see shit in these Facebook groups, I lurk. I don't post. I lurk, but I'll come in there. I'll kick the fucking door in swinging, kick the door in and just start fucking shit up. That's how I get banned from Facebook, though.
Unbox Warehouse, welcome. You're just in time.
Yo, I learn so much from this channel. Don't or do. I don't know.
I do.
Oh, he does. He does. Does he do or don't? I don't know. Is it a do or don't?
Give him the benefit of the doubt. He does. We educate people around here.
So tonight we did something different in the chat. We made it to where you had to be a subscriber for at least 20 minutes to be able to chat in the live stream in hopes that it would deter trolls because they're not going to hit subscribe. They're not going to know that you have to be subscribed for 20 minutes to actually be able to chat. I don't know. I tried something different. I tried it because I wanted to see what the limitation would be. And I've actually contemplated just doing live streams with members only. If you were a member, you'd chat, but then I'm like, that's not fair. But I did it to where you have to be subscribed to chat because it limits that bullshit. Like these people that want to come in and just start shit and get me all riled up. Oh, Yak Dog said, this is my shiznit. That's why I like this guy. Martin, 1999 super chat. Let me hit you with a button. What the fuck's that button do? None of these things are working. There's nothing.
You're remixing now.
I guess.
Stephen Smith says, Eddie, can you recommend a place to fly in New York? But where in New York are you located? New York is huge.
New York's big. It's a huge place, Eddie. Recommend him a place. Is Drone X Factor studio space open?
That place is always open, and you just have to make a reservation with Drone X Factor.
Yes.
There's a hack. You don't have to join his Patreon. You can skip the $1 membership. Just make sure that you go and reserve your spot, and you can fly there. That
easy. Is there a website or something that you can run?
Just Google Flushing Meadows RC Park, and you just have to look at Drone X Factor's photo there. I don't know how he got his photo on that website, but yeah.
Did he really get his photo on the website?
It's him holding a, I think.
What is it? Flushing Meadows?
Flushing Meadows RC Park, Queens. And you have Drone X Factor there.
Where is he at? I'm looking for it.
Google Maps. Flushing Meadows. Let's see.
I see an RC helicopter. I see it's in New York City Parks.gov, or is it somewhere else?
It's on just Google Maps.
Let me look at Google.
Google Maps. It's like the photo that represents that park. It's him.
I'm not seeing it.
See if I find it.
I don't see it.
I just found it.
Share your screen, Eddie.
All
Can you
Hold on.
share? Can you share?
Does it allow me to?
I don't
Share
know.
screen.
I mean, how the hell does he even get on that though?
I think
know
he
what?
just. I think
You know what
he just did an upload
Let me see.
there.
Let me see. Let's try this on.
Can you see it?
Oh yeah. Look at it. Oh yeah, there
So
he is.
yeah, you Google the Flushing Meadows RC Park. He's the first photo.
He always ends up with some weird shit like this. You ever notice how he always ends up doing some shit like this?
Yeah.
I don't understand it.
And I think this is the most natural photo you can find of him. It's definitely not staged. I mean, the cones, the vest.
Yeah.
This is Drone X Factor here.
That's Drone X Factor all the way. All right. Well, that's going to do it for tonight's show. I think we had a good night. The weather has been absolutely shit here in Florida. I think I'm going to take a breather from some GPS drones and start trying to do some, I'm going to do some Cinelifter content this week. So if you guys are interested in understanding and learning about Cinelifters, I'm going to have some content on that, talking about those, just to change things up a little bit, because yeah, there's other drones and other things out there. So you got to experience it all. You got to take it all in, breathe it all in. J.R. Allen says, Dobo, real quick, number one favorite place you've ever flown and have to go back to. Probably in Hawaii. Kauai was probably one of the most favorite places I've flown. I didn't get enough time to do what I wanted to there. I would love to go back there, out there in the mountains. I think that was probably my most favorite place. Definitely got to go out there. Steve with the $20 super chat. Thanks, Steve. I appreciate you, dude. As always, dude. As always. Let's see. I did install Kiss Ultra tonight. I installed the Kiss Ultra flight controller and the Reaper ESC. So I got a chance to play with that a little bit before the stream. So I'm actually sort of impressed with how that flies. So maybe a video on that soon too.
Yeah, I gotta get back to FPV.
Yeah, I gotta start flying more. I've been really slacking, and I don't feel like I have a lot of time lately, even before the baby. But
yeah,
I don't have as much time as I need to. Like I need to maximize my time. So, Drones Unlimited, I'm near. Drones Unlimited says I'm near Hernando Beach. Get out of town. You're in Hernando. Okay. Well, listen. As long as you don't drive a white van with candy on the side, I'm down. No, I'm a sucker for local pilots. I'll go out there and fly because it's nice to always find local pilots. And I'm finding that there is a shit ton of local pilots recently, which is actually pretty awesome. Tom, have a good night, man. I think we finally got justice for you.
he did.
Ike said he bought a Cessna 421. He needs to start flying again. He's scared of it. I bought a bought a pack of diapers. So how about that? How about that, Mike? How about that? Hologram drone. Got to see it. I'll have to check it out. All right, guys, if you can, be sure to smash that like button on the way out the door. Closing time, Eddie. Any last words?
Stay original.
I love when you do that. I love when you complete me. You just right here, Eddie. Right here. You complete me, Eddie. No, Eddie, you got to press the button, Eddie.
I don't have.
Maybe I'll just get out my head and focus on what I know's coming. Yeah. Cause I can't fall asleep at night without seeing my dreams. Delusion and reality, I'm somewhere in between. These voices in my head get loud and they keep telling me that I'm a fool for trusting in these wings. But maybe, baby, this was
Fuck you, Eddie.